Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis. Here is my lovely co-host, Phil. How you doing, Phil?
I'm doing good. How you doing? Okay. How's it going?
Not bad. Why do you have so much baggage behind you?
I'm packing already for Frenchie. I'm ready for him to go.
Ready? Man,
Yeah.
Frenchie, he's only been nominated for a couple of days, and you're already ready for him to go.
I was ready last week.
So you have not been enjoying the reign of Frenchie this season.
I've enjoyed watching it for sure. But I got a lot of Willie Hance flashbacks in my head of how he played the game, and it's like nobody else is playing, it's my game kind of idea, and it's like, nope, I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah, it's like people are like, oh, you're gonna miss him when he's gone, and I might a little bit with the fact that it's like it's so chaotic and it's so like, and I'm on edge watching the feeds, and it's just like I'm in it and I'm on edge, and it is exciting to a certain extent, but also with him not being head of household this week, it's just been a little bit more enjoyable, the live feeds.
Yeah.
And it's like still doing a lot of antics, but it's not, I'm not like, it's just like, it's a little calmer. So I think I think it's good enough. I do.
Yeah, I think it will get to, unfortunately, the point where if he does find a way to stay, in a couple weeks, he's going to be so isolated that the audience is actually not going to enjoy watching him because they're actually going to feel bad for him. Like, I think it might get to that point where he'll be such an outcast that, it won't be fun to watch.
So, I don't know if they'd actually do that to him, though. I don't think they'd make him an outcast because people in there are quite giving him quite a bit, I would say. Like, he wasn't treating everybody very well, and people are still willing to work with him, pretend they're in alliances with him. So he may have still gotten away with thinking that he was in a power position, and he kind of butts into conversations all the time. So I can see him really still being part of the going on, whether it's warranted or not. So yes, Frenchie and Brent need to take several seats and join the circus. Natalie. Yes, they do. Take a seat. Well, I feel like the edit today, though, made it seem as though Brent is not really for Frenchie, but it doesn't really seem that way from what I know that has been going on in the house. It seems like they're still pretty together, but they did in the edit make it seem like everybody's saying Frenchie's got to go. So I guess they have to tell a story, but it was a better episode, I think, with showing how Frenchie has been better.
Yeah, I feel like everything's in place now, and so now we're getting to see how people are actually working and talking with each other. And unfortunately for Frenchie, it's coming across that everybody is sort of like, okay, what's with this Frenchie guy?
Recipe Bean joining us. Let's do this. Let's talk about this episode. So I haven't talked to you obviously since last week. How did you feel about the eviction of Travis and the fact that Alyssa is going to be staying in the house?
I actually was happy with that. Alyssa, I think I mentioned before, I liked Alyssa with her mentality that she's coming into this game to play the game. She's not in it to be famous. She wants to play Big Brother. Little concerned for her that she's getting herself into a showmance, it seems. But no, I'm happy. And of the two, between her and Travis, I mean, I don't think Travis had much to offer. I think it was fun to watch him strip, but I think that was probably his last card to play.
So you enjoyed the strip tease. Did you screenshot it? Download the No?
I won't be going back to watch it.
Say again?
I won't be going back to watch it.
Oh, really? He's gonna feel so bad.
I'll watch Kylan getting it, but when Travis comes on, I'll go.
like Kylan. I'm happy that he is here. I remember at that competition, I was so fearful that it was going to be Brent that won, especially because where Brent was in the numbers, he was in a pretty good place to line up the shot. And then everybody after him started to not be able to catch the shot. And I'm like, this is just getting harder though. And it's getting harder. Oh my God. Are we going to get a Brent? Like I was going through it.
Yeah. Did you think the people that went high, do you think that they were trying, or do you think they were trying to throw?
I think that they picked a number and it was already taken, and every time they were choosing the number, someone had already taken it before them. So I think they just kept on trying one up until they got a number. So I don't think they were trying to throw it. I think everybody just tried their best, but you don't know what everybody voted on. And so I think it just was bad luck, I guess.
I did have to say I loved Thursday's episode for the fact that it felt very much like an old episode. There were so many Julie slip-ups. She kept making mistakes talking. The competitions weren't working. And I love when that works because like it just feels so authentic to the show. Like, I don't know. There's something about it. It's like when the Chenbot makes a little bit of an error, it's cute. Like, I like it.
A lot of lines. I was like, Julie. Yeah. The teleprompter is there an error? What's happening here? I do enjoy a little Chenbot error. I remember back in the day when and she was really a Chenbot, but we just love her. Yeah. And so I could totally agree with you that she was back to her whole Chenbot ways, but malfunctioning. Yeah,
and it was like she was nervous, like, oh, we're going to commercial again. Okay. It's not working.
Love it. So Alyssa comes back into the house and she's like, I will never die. Alyssa is the slut queen as she walks back in. And so Kylan though wants to figure out who were these votes. Now we learned that there's 2 rogue votes that were cast against Alyssa. One was Tiffany and one was Derek. How do you feel about rogue votes in general? How do you feel about both of these 2 people casting them?
In general, I don't know if it's the right thing to do, especially this early, because if it comes out, then it seems like you're playing the game. Like there's another game being played, so you might put a target on yourself even if you don't mean to. Like they may be like, oh, they're thinking ahead, like they're trying to pin it on somebody, but. Yeah, I mean, I liked the fact that we found out why Tiffany did it, and it was not necessarily to screw somebody, but it was to test Frenchie, which was kind of very clever.
Especially but ready just to throw him in front of us.
She's ready to go.
And I thought, so later on in the episode, Frenchie's talking to, I believe it was Whitney and Brent, about him knowing who cast both of those rogue votes. And Tiffany walks in and is like, well, who did it? Why are you offering up that you know who did it? And it's just like, it was totally just like people like come in to fight. And she's just like testing him.
Good on her. And it was like, how smart was she? The way that she did that. It wasn't like she didn't react right away and be like, well, why are you talking about this? You promised me. She was like cool, calm, and like she was like so smart because she never put herself in danger with it. She's like, I'd rather you just didn't tell me. Like, well, that you know. Like she was so smart, thought about it so well because he couldn't say anything.
I know. It's like, oh my gosh, she just had him. Like anything he did was going to be wrong, right? Yeah. Like the fact that he's bringing this up, that's not good, right? It's not good if he's bringing up these votes and then not really saying what happened. Like she thought that he would just spill the beans or keep his mouth shut. So I don't think she really anticipated him just teasing everybody with the fact that he knows this information in good old Frenchie style. But I just love that she's calling his bluff a little bit, you know? Are you going to keep it? Are you going to keep a secret? Yeah, it was me. You know that I know it's that you know it was me.
It was like I know what you're about to do. Keep your mouth shut. Like it was
shut, but I'm right here to tell you that you told me to do this. That's how you
Yes,
know.
yeah.
It was so good. It was just like
So good. I really like her. I think she's come into this, and I'm like, oh my god, go all the way, Tiffany. I would love it.
Well,
like she's a character.
She was my first pick on my other draft, and I was like, yes, this is good. This is good. And I got Claire by default on my other draft because I had Christy, and so like then I just got Claire just by default. So my other draft, I have Claire, Tiffany, Kyland, and then I have Whitney, Brent. I was like, ugh. And then this one I have a pretty similar draft as well. So hopefully I win with them. But I would prefer for Tiffany to win this game. But I could see the path for a lot of people to win right now.
Oh yeah. It's still so early.
Okay, so Natalie asked, do we think that Frenchie and Brent should stay away from social media when they come out of the house? I guess you're assuming that both of them will be pre-jury. I don't think that Frenchie would be able to. I do feel that he is a person that any publicity is good publicity. So I think that even the negative attention that he might be receiving, it will feed his ego anyways. And so I don't think that it would really phase Frenchie. I just don't think that it will bother him at all. What do you think?
No. From what I'm understanding, from what he's saying on the feeds, he's making it seem like, oh, I did week one. Like, I know I might be in trouble here, but I did week one for the fans, and I'm here for the fans. So he's going back on social media ASAP because he wants to know what did the fans think of his week. Now, he may not like what he sees, but I'm sure he's going to spin it in a way to be like, oh no, like they loved it. They're just jealous that I got to do this. And
exactly,
he's in his own world. I've heard things about him coming after other seasons of Big Brother in the past on social media, and he's in his own world. I'm actually a little surprised he maybe got casted. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting guy.
I mean, I think that people don't realize I think they just thought he was a super fan, right? I don't think they realized the delusion that was going to be following along with him. He probably was very eager, very excited. He has an accent. He's different, and he's a super fan. Like, this is like perfect. Is he going to be the Donnie 2.0? Ooh.
Right. Which is what they wanted.
Exactly. So I just think that they were blinded by all the boxes that he ticked, that they didn't really see what type of player he was going to be. And he probably, all the things that he was stating to be allies with the LGBTQIA2S. I actually don't know if that's correct, but I'm not like Frenchie. I'm just like, you know what the acronym is, but I actually don't know the full thing anymore.
And some people now have shortened it back because they don't want to have all the letters. Like the last I heard was LGBTQ2+.
Okay, I've heard.
I didn't have. I actually didn't appear in the last one that I saw, but. Again, I
is intersex, and A is asexual, and then 2S is spirit. So I mean, at the end part, I guess it would be a little more challenging. But like when he's like, "What is it? LG?" Like if he just said LGBTQ, like people wouldn't be like upset with him. Like he knows what that is for sure.
Yeah. But LG and B have been around like a long time, and so is T. I mean, they've all been around, but like talked about, like, and so it was kind of surprising that he didn't know B, because actually I feel like B was like maybe the first one that people were saying, because it was like, oh well, they also like it wasn't all the way. I don't know. On the farm they don't use it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, but his best friend is supposed to be exactly like Derek F. So you'd think that he would know the acronym, at least part of it, the part that he was seeming to forget. Oh, Frenchie, but I think that he's gonna love going looking at social media. Just like, he's just gonna search his name. He's gonna be in it. He's gonna comment. He's gonna respond to probably every single comment. Like, I think that he's gonna eat it up, even if it's negative attention. I think he loves it.
Oh yeah, and he's going to be pushing. I should be on All Stars, the next All Stars. Like he's. I've heard him in the house. He's saying, like, oh, people are going to probably want me to be on All Stars. I'm like, okay, week 1, like, slow down.
Well,
maybe who knows? David came back week 1, maybe.
I think Frenchie is a more capable player though than David was. So that's true.
Definitely, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
In like 5, 6, 7 years, they do an All Stars. He can come back.
He could come back, but he'll probably not be remembered.
Yeah, he would be. I think he'd be remembered. He's going down in flames.
We'll see.
Okay, do you think that he's going to pull a Dan's funeral or some sort of epic plan to stay this week? Do you think that he was going to do something really grandiose?
I think we're going to see multiple. We're going to see multiple plans, but I don't know if they're real plans. I think he's burnt a lot of bridges. He's made promises with everybody. He's turned his back pretty much on everybody. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to pull anything off. Anything that does work, he'll say was a plan of his, even if it wasn't.
You've been asked a question here. Where are you going with all that luggage? The Blue Origin rocket. What's the Blue Origin rocket?
Oh wait, no. Isn't it the smaller one there? Is it the smaller one? I don't know. One of the piece of luggages. It's one of the two beside me, the blue ones.
Oh, that's what it's called, a Blue Origin rocket?
I believe so. I think so. Yes. No. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just they're assuming I'm going up to outer space or something. But no, I was just saying at the beginning where I'm packing for Frenchie. Like, I mean, I need all of his decisions have be put into a suitcase and get him out.
All his promises, his decisions,
all his promises are here.
Everything. He's packing all his baggage.
Yes.
Oh boy! Ouch! Ouch! B-Bean is shots fired. Derek F equals Derek flop. Do you agree with this statement?
Well, yeah. I mean, okay. So, what? Sorry, not to change the subject, but why did Derek F? Did he say why he voted the other way? What was his strategy in that?
He said that he wanted just to like throw it in there. Thought it would be kind of fun just to throw in a road quote. And he had been saying this for the week before, like leading up to it, that he wanted to do it. And everybody's like, no, don't do it. It's stupid. Don't do it. So people assume that he is one of the votes because he was saying the whole week that he was going to do it. So that's why. I thought it would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think it's flop?
I don't know. I mean, he's going to have to really do something, I think, big to impress me because my gut with him was I just don't see it. I think he if something doesn't go his way really bad, he's going to have a meltdown, I think he's going to be
it's very – I don't know if you've seen this part on the feeds or read about it, but he's been saying him and Frenchie are just like love in their own, like what they think their edit is all about. And Derek F has basically been like, how am I going to carry the show? Like, we're the two most entertaining people in the house. Like, if you're gone, I'm going to have to do all the work to carry the season.
Well, Frenchie's been being seen. We haven't seen a lot of you, Derek. I don't know.
Laundry day. Haven't seen you in so long. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Okay, so why was everybody crying with the nominations? Let's go. 750K. This is BS.
Agreed.
I mean,
agreed.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been crying, I don't think. Brittany, I can understand her feeling hurt, but like, I also didn't necessarily like her edit this episode. It didn't put her in a light that it made sense to me completely why Kylan put her up. from the edit. So I don't know if that's just all they're cut and pasting, but I could lose her. She's not been doing anything for me that's been that interesting.
No, I mean, I know we're jumping ahead here, but I was really impressed with Kylan, the way that he sort of spoke to her, and he was like honest. He's like, no, like, you're supposed to tell me the information. I'm not supposed to tell you the information. Like, tell me what's going on in your head, in your game. And her response, I mean, she didn't know where he is. Like, she's not on the same page as him. So that was a smart person to put on, because even if she isn't with Frenchie, she's not in his world right now, like in Kylan's world, like going the same direction. So
and he doesn't really have anybody that he can put on the block. So Kylan is in the slaughterhouse. So the slaughterhouse is Derek F, Xavier, Frenchie, Brent, Alyssa, and Whitney. I think that those are the main people in that. And I think Derek X is in there as well. I think something like that. So he can't nominate any of those people. Then he's also in the cookout, which is Derek F again, Tiffany, Azah, kind of Hannah B, Xavier, and himself. So those people are off the table. His best friend in the house is Sarah B. He can't nominate Claire or Tiffany. So there's literally, and Christian's in the slaughterhouse. There's nobody else that he can nominate, because Sarah B, Christian, Alyssa, and Xavier are all in the Kings, so they can't be nominated. And then in the Aces would be Whitney and Brent in Slaughterhouse, and then Derek X kind of in Slaughterhouse, and also used the veto on him last week. Like, if he put him up, like, he would be really weird. It just wouldn't be a good look. And who's the last person there? Derek. And Hannah in cookout. And then
Brent, maybe? Could he put up Brent? Oh, Brent's in Slaughterhouse.
Yeah. And then you have Azah, who's in cookout. Brittany, in none of those with him. Frenchie doesn't like, but is in Slaughterhouse with him. And Derek F. Can't put him up. He's in 2 of his alliances. So Brittany was the only person that he doesn't have any sort of loyalty to. So he had to go up. It was just a no-brainer.
I'm okay with it. She's on my team, but she hasn't been wowing me. So if I have to lose somebody.
Oh my Lord, BB, this was like the moment of the night. So BB is talking about how Tiffany was appearing to be crying in Azah's lap in the bedroom. And Azah is just patting her and stroking her shoulder, and it seemed like she's crying. And even in the diary room, she decides to lie to us a little bit with her fake tears about how she's missing her son, and then she just put her head up and she's like, ha ha ha, like, we're just faking it so that she can talk to me game without people like suspecting that we're talking game. And I'm like, thank you. What did we deserve? We did deserve this. It's been like 7 years since we've had a good season, and these first 2 weeks have been better than any season since like season 14, I think.
Yeah. 13, 12, whatever. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah.
I thought that 13 was better.
I thought that this was great. These two, Azah's face every time when she was just priceless. When she's like laughing her head off when it's happening, I mean, definitely that's a great way to build a bond with somebody, is to have a fake thing that's going on. My only concern is 2 people walked into the room, we saw at least, and eventually down the road there may be, whoa, those 2 are kind of close, they're having emotional moments, should we put them up? But right now, it's still
X would do that.
It's still early. Yeah.
I don't think Derek X would do that. And I don't know if Alyssa would do that, just because she might be just compassionate, just being like, oh, like Tiffany's was having a moment, and maybe Tiffany's wouldn't be necessarily in that light. And so maybe she wouldn't even bring it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It depends how much they do it. It depends how much they do it. Like, if it's just a one-off thing, then that's good. If it's all the time,
no, all the time.
Trouble.
Once a month? Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
BB, I loved it. I love the duo. I mean, I love Tiffany. I think that she's the star of the season so far. I want to see her play as long as possible. If she won the game, that's like would be the cherry on top. But like, she's just bringing everything that I need in a Big Brother player on my TV. And I'm just wondering if we would ever have gotten someone like Tiffany on our screen if they hadn't changed the diversity quota for the show. Because there's a lot of people in color on the show, which is amazing. It doesn't even look weird to me or different. You know what I mean? Like, it just looks kind of normal, you know?
Oh yeah.
I just don't know. Like, if there's only a spot for one Black person, would it have been her this season? Like, who knows? So
because that's not the character that they use. Like BB, what was it? BB 12 or actually BB8, I think they started. It was like always the religious Black girl who, won't fit in well, and let's set them up to fail, and let's try and get them to explode on somebody. Like, that was the character that they were casting. And, like, you can watch the show and see pinpoint moments where you're like, yeah, I kind of feel like that really was trying to get that character to explode. Like, so I'm happy. Like, this is great. All the different things. I'm hopeful that this is a trend. This will continue. I would love to see more Asian people on there. I'd love to see, definitely more Middle Eastern. That would be fantastic. So,
other than Ovi, I can't think of another Southeast Asian person on the show.
Yeah.
Not right now, anyways.
And Latino, there's a lot, right? So it's great because it is what the world is.
Right.
So why is let's it's stupid. It's supposed to be strangers from around the world, or around America, but America isn't just like 80% white. Like, that's I don't think it is, at least. Like, from what I know, it's not 80% white. So let's not do it that way.
Actually, we would also most likely live in the coastal cities, and so all of those are very, very multicultural. Yeah. So like the LAs, like the New Yorks, are all very, very densely like multicultural. And so Middle America.
How come we can get people like on RuPaul's Drag Race that are from like Louisiana and like Tennessee and down there that are people of color, but we can't find one that's from red state that is a person of color? Like, let's get that happening too. Like, we don't always need it to be the token farmer that isn't on the same page as everybody. Like, let's get some other people in there who maybe they're voting the other way. Who knows? Maybe let's get to learn about these people because they're out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I do hope this is opening the door for it, like them realizing that diversity works. Finding unique individuals that are interesting, it works. It works for the game, and people that know the game a little bit works. So, like, you don't need to pluck an Instagram model and throw them in the house so they can have a showmance with a guy that loves watermelon. Like, it doesn't need to be that. That's not interesting to me. No. I don't like if there's showmances that come out that people are interacting. It's a weird environment. I can see people falling for each other because of their circumstance. I don't mind the showmans. I don't care about them right now. Like, I'm just kind of like, they're not part of the game experience. Like, I just want them targeted and go home. Who cares? But everything that's happening within the dynamics of the house is so fascinating and interesting. Just to be taking notes. Please just be taking notes as to what is working here. And that is diversity. It is.
Diversity. And cast on the people. Don't cast on this character you want. Find good people.
So you mean like the new Bills on Laundry Day? Wow. You think that Azah and Tiffany are the new Will and Mike? Okay. If they end up getting any sort of diary rooms together, let's see if that happens. I'd love that.
Let's get a diary room with those two.
Let's see if that happens. Okay, well, let's like manifest that. We'll put that into the universe. Let's speak it into existence.
I wanna see that.
So this season, it looks normal because it's like most of America. Exactly, BB. Like, I love it. Yeah. Hannah's dad's from India. That's true. That is true. That's yes, Hannah's dad is from India. You are correct. And which is great. She's Indian and South African. Correct.
Yes.
America's around 70% white. Wow, based on the last census, by 2050, whites are expected to be below 50%. Wow, that's a big drop. That's a lot of millions of people to be more diverse. Okay, yes, it is. It's 70% is a lot, but not in multicultural areas. You know what I mean? It's definitely more saturated by the melting pot. So what else happened in this episode? Christian was kind of annoyed that he didn't know about the rogue vote. It's like, why would you know who did these rogue votes? Like, that's why it's a rogue vote, is that you don't know who did the rogue vote.
I think it was funny. He was like, I'm not annoyed about the rogue vote. I'm annoyed I didn't know about it. So then that means you were annoyed about the rogue vote. Come on.
I think that was the only time we saw him on the screen this episode. I just was like, okay. I love seeing Tiffany and Claire dancing in the kitchen with safety. Like, they're my favorite duo as well. Yeah. Like both, and I guess anybody that's in a duo with Tiffany, I'm definitely into. I'm just like,
enjoy.
It's because they're going to be strategizing about real stuff.
Do you know? It's funny. Like, I get. Like, she's got her lay of the land as well in the house. Like, you can sort of tell, like, she's got room. She's all over the house, but, like, she puts herself in the kitchen in the right spot, right? Like, and she's, like, can talk to one-on-one and nobody else can see. And then she's, like, in the bathroom. And I don't know. She's so smart. Like, I can just feel like she thought about this game.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
It's really, really fun. I mean, I know producers just love throwing in people that don't know how to play the game just to like shake things up. But it's just so fun to watch somebody that knows how to play the game with other capable people. The reason why I didn't care for Derek that much is because he just got to like, it was just so easy. People didn't know how to play the game and just handed him the money, you know, like he didn't really have anybody pushing up against him. Same with Cody last season. I just was like, oh my God, who cares? Like the people that want to go up against him and give everybody a chance, they were just like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to give Cody the money, like basically. And this is just so entertaining. I don't care what happens in the season. These first 2 weeks have been so entertaining that I'm satisfied, and it brought back like my excitement about Big Brother. I'm like sitting here watching it like this. I'm like, you know, it's great. I've been like, oh God, okay, and like
it's gonna be great because there's so many alliances, and you're like, well, what's like I cannot even tell what's the real alliance because I feel like there's so many people on it that are like, I'm gonna go the way that's going the right way. So I'm not really in any real alliance until it's going the right way. Like they're so smart.
Love it. Hello, Thomas. Thanks for joining us. How are you enjoying this season? We are talking about episode 5 of Big Brother US 23. Okay, I thought this was another funny moment. Kylan, who seems to have a pretty good connection with Xavier, they're in the bathroom, and Kylan's going into the bathroom, like, come with me. Well, no, not come, like, stand here, and like kind of directing him where to stand. It didn't look obvious that they're talking. So, as a joke, I'm assuming it was a joke, Xavier starts ironing a piece of paper towel. And
that would be weird.
I think that he was kind of implying, like, I'll just iron. Sasha's the first time I noticed an iron in the house.
Yeah,
like I never seen.
I've never seen one before. I don't think.
Not at all. I think the cookout is real, but Derek F is not that loyal to it, from what I've read and seen on the feeds, which is really annoying. He just, if he messes up the cookout, like. But I think if she goes, he'll go back and like maybe get more ingratiated in the cookout, because I think he has his out with Frenchie, that he thinks that like French is going to protect him and it's his final 2, and like that he doesn't need the cookout. But once Frenchie's gone, I think he'll be more
Frenchie's
loyal.
gone. Once Frenchie's gone, it's going to be interesting to see how he reacts.
Yeah, exactly. Gone and maybe and most likely not have safety. So as long as we don't get another David, I'm good. I think that like David as in
I think they're all playing already more than David has played.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
David was
sorry, David, but you needed to watch one season of the show. It's just one, please. Season 6. Why don't they give them season 6 as their like 6, 7, and 8 in their rooms? Like if they gave them those seasons, they would become fans like of the show, and they would just get everything that I think that people should love about the show. Whenever I've wanted people to start watching it, I always gave them season 6.
Yeah, season 6. I mean, I know everybody that like my season 8. I love season 8. I have a drinking game to that with my friends. Like it's a great season. Like Amber cries, like, and you're wasted. But it's fun. But yeah, no, I agree. I think that they should show some of those earlier seasons. I'm assuming that they show more recent ones, probably because they're like, oh, look at all these twists that happen. But you know, they'll figure that out.
Well, you can tell what seasons they show in Sequester by the answers that they pick. It's like, oh, my favorite player is Derek. It's like, okay, well, you saw season 16. You know what I mean? Like, he dominated that season. Yeah, we get it. I mean, I want to like his season, his win, but like, I wasn't really impressed by it. He didn't get any challenges. He didn't have to get any.
I think they showed season 11 too, because there was quite a number of people who said their favorite moment was Jeff using the coup d'etat on Jessica. It was Jessica.
Wasn't it Travis or Christian?
I think it was Travis. Travis said Jessica.
Like, there's no Jessica, honey. It's Jesse. It's Jesse. Oh boy, poor Travis. So I thought that was a funny moment though with Kylan and Xavier. I literally laughed out loud when that happened. So we see Frenchie talking to Whitney and Brent about knowing about the vote. And that's when we kind of already mentioned it with Tiffany coming in. Love that little scene. But then Frenchie starts to unravel a little bit. So we see before this a scene of Tiffany talking to Kylan and not telling him a lot of things, but saying like, I think that you should be wary of Frenchie. And then even Travis had pulled him into, in a room before he had left and told him that like Frenchie lied to him and like he looked at him in his eyes and directly lied to him. Now, do you think that that was the moment that Julie was alluding to on eviction night, or do you think that was a completely different time when Travis told Kylan? Julie said,
I don't know, because he said something, and Travis was like, I know who those 2 votes were from, and I was like, I wish Julie had asked him, like, well, who did they come from, just so that we knew he actually did know. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was.
I'm gonna go look and see what he was wearing and see if it's at least the same outfit. If I can narrow it down. Yeah. After the last few seasons of Big Brother, I feel like I have several people to root for, not just 1 or 2. Whoa, isn't that a thing? That's so cool. That like I really like 90% of the house. I'm not a big fan of Frenchie. I'm not a big fan of Brent. I wanted to like Whitney, but I do find that she wants to get out of the women, and like I'm not really down with that. Alyssa hasn't really been doing that much for me. Christian hasn't really been doing that much, but everybody else I'm pretty thumbs up for. That's a lot of people. Yeah. That I would.
The last time was like season 17. I think that was the last time I had more than one person I was rooting for.
And who were you rooting for? Oh, I guess like I liked Vanessa, even though she cried a bit too much. I loved her gameplay. Like I was just very like intrigued by that. I liked Jason, Davon.
Audrey, I liked it at the beginning. I thought she was actually. I liked Audrey. I think Audrey did pretty.
And she snapped out of it. I was like, just you can save yourself. Just snap out of it, you know. And
we started strong. Johnny Mac. I did like Vanessa.
Was Meg on that season too?
Meg was on the season.
I like it. Yeah, good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good season. I didn't like though. No. Am I mixing them up? Johnny Mac, was he 17 or 18?
The twins. The twins and like that Austin guy, the wrestler.
Oh, the wrestler, yes. And then the winner, I was like, yeah, that would probably be my most forgettable winner.
Yeah, I wasn't really plussed about the fact that he won, but from how things lined up, he was destined. But
yeah, I agree. This season, I've got like probably half to almost 3/4 of the people. I'm like, yeah, I could see myself liking them. At least right now, I'm liking them. They haven't done anything.
Exactly. I mean, we're only in week 2. We'll start hating people soon, I suppose. So, what was it? So Kylie gets the HOH room, and then we'll get back to the Frenchie thing. And it was just so sweet. I did cry when he was getting his letter from his mom because it was a very sweet letter. Tiffany read the letter for him because he couldn't do it himself, and he was getting all choked up and really wanting to make his parents and family proud. So I think that he did, and he has, and like, you know, everybody wants to make their mom proud. And so it was very sweet. Yeah. So we see the wild card comp. What did you think of this competition? You are a games master. What did you think of the wild card comp?
Well, I don't know if I'm a master, but I do games. I liked it. I mean, I was sitting with my husband, and he's colorblind, so he would not have done well in that challenge. But I thought it was interesting. I thought, it was okay. Like, I mean, it wasn't the best. Like, I thought last week's, I think, was better. Although for its own reasons. I thought last week was better for the viewer. It wasn't overly exciting fun to watch.
But I did play along with it, which I like playing along with things. Like, I couldn't play along with it last week. This one, I was like counting different things. And I guess they won't do this competition later, but sometimes they do it in like a buzzer competition. Remember they did that last season when Davon lost it and just messed up the rest of the season.
Yes. They've done it with like the chemicals and that, and then it explodes in the face and that. So it's a good challenge. The contestants that were up, you know, I was pleasantly surprised because we don't know a lot about Sarah Beth. So that was nice to get to know her a little bit on the show because she's been pretty missing in the feeds.
I love that she's called SB. Yeah. And like, hey, SB, go SB. I think that's cute. So who's going to be playing? It's going to be Sarah Beth is going to be playing. She volunteered to play, I believe it was. She wanted to win it and keep it the same for Kyland. And she didn't want Frenchie to win it at all, so she wanted to go in and defend this the HOH for Kyland. Frenchie obviously is feeling in danger, so he wants to play, and then by random draw, Brent played. So I didn't know it was random draw. I thought that Brent really wanted to try to win it to help Frenchie out. What do you think about Frenchie insinuating that Brent throw it to him?
Not surprised. He probably also, I mean, we haven't seen everything, but I'm assuming that he probably told Brent at the same time, don't throw it to me. He has been all over the place with what he's asking people to do. I'm sure whoever won, he probably told them, I threw it to you. Like, you know, like he's completely making a story up in his head of what his game plan is.
Totally.
Like, I think he probably told people he didn't want to win the wild card after the wild card, even though he was wanting to win the wild card.
Yeah, but he definitely said that he didn't want to win the wild card. It's like, well, why are you playing? Why are you playing? Then if you were to stay, you would not get to play again. Yeah. Interesting. And spoiler alert, and it's not really a spoiler, but apparently today he was threatening to self-evict. So I don't know if you noticed one of his confessionals this episode. He said, I think it was at the very end. He's like, "I'm not a quitter. I don't quit. I don't quit. I'm not a quitter."
Yes.
And I'll self-evict though. It's different, I guess.
Oh, so I mean, has he quit? Do we know?
No, as far as I know, he came out of the diary room and he didn't quit.
Okay. So you know that because they put the point of him saying "I won't quit," they'll at least show him thinking about quitting in the next episode. Like that.
He's doing that though to try to tempt production to like throw him a bone because he thinks that he's the star of the show and that the ratings are going to go down without him. So maybe he's like saying like, "I'm going to quit" to see if production will throw in a coup d'etat or something to save Frenchie. Jeez. I don't know if you saw this, Brent, but Brian Scally from Robin's podcast, and he does other things as well. He put it, because Frenchie said, I don't know, Brittany, I think it was, it says like, hashtag save Frenchie and Brittany or something like that. Like it's probably trending on Twitter. And he puts it in. There's no results.
Nothing. Nothing.
Not trending. I need you to see how hilarious it is.
Oh my god! You have no followers. Jeez.
Okay, so it says, Brittany, hey America, get hashtag save Frenchie and Brittany trending, hashtag BB23. And then, can you see?
No.
Do you guys have high hopes for Derek F? Because I don't. Yeah, I don't. We'll really need to see how he does without Frenchie in the game. Frenchie seems to be who he, for whatever reason, feels most comfortable with, who he's thirsting over, very bizarre, who is in his team. It's his captain. So with him gone, I'm wondering who he's going to latch onto next. I don't know if it's going to be Azah. I don't know if it's going to be Tiffany or somebody else completely. But I'll have to reassess with Frenchie gone. I don't know if he'll spiral or if he'll latch himself onto somebody that's a little bit more knowledgeable about the game that can help just corral him a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah. I think when we had a review of him, he wasn't somebody that stood out to me. I was actually more concerned for him because I just got this vibe that he's going to at some point have some sort of fit. I don't know. There's a vibe that I get from him that I just don't feel like he's not going to do the team thing well. And I think he wants to make decisions, but he also will be like checked out if it's not going his way, and he'll sulk. Like
I
don't know. I just feel that
I don't know if he has anybody that's going to really stick their neck out to protect him. If he got a head of household reign, that would be a mess, another little mess. I think you'd still go for Derek X. Why? I don't know. Like, leave the poor boy alone. I need to give me a moment though. I don't really have high hopes, but I do want to see how he, relaxes into life in the house without Frenchie. So just to really be able to assess.
Yeah. And see how he does with a bit of power. Like if he does well, then he might go far. But like if he right away is like, I'm switching the game up, I'm making my own moves, then I don't know if that will work.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to be a mess. He's going to be another Frenchie mess. So we in the head of household room with Frenchie, and Kylan's not giving any information, and Frenchie's saying all that glitters is not gold, man. And, I could be your ride or die. You have me 100%. And Kylan is like, I'm not going to give you anything. Like, you can talk, but like, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. And Frenchie just like sees red, and he's like, he just knows now that he's going, that Kylan's not saying what he wanted him to say. So Frenchie starts freaking the F out. So next we see him walking into a room. I believe that, I'm not sure because his big brother intuition is flying off the chart with his interaction with Kylan. And so he goes into
so much experience.
Pardon?
so much experience.
Right? He's just
His baby intuition. Like
he's just tuned in. So he goes into the room and he's like, slaughterhouse, I'm out to Brent. And then to Brittany, he walks in, he's like, I'm out. And Whitney's in there with Hannah, Derek F, and I think maybe Sarah B was standing in there as well. And everyone's like, what's happening? What is he talking about? Ooh. Oh, and was it this episode or was it, did I see it on the feeds where Sarah Beth was telling, I think I saw this on the feeds, or was it the episode? Sarah Beth was telling her group about the slaughterhouse.
No.
It didn't happen? Okay. So on the feeds then, Sarah Beth was sitting with her team, the Kings, and was like, yeah, Frenchie told her who was in the slaughterhouse. And she says, and she's like, and it was all you guys. And like, I'm the only one that's not in the slaughterhouse out of our team. And they're like, oh, I can't believe he would say something like that. And it just was very interesting that they basically lied to her face that they were in this in the slaughterhouse. Anyways, I thought it was part of the episode, but it wasn't. Wow. So never mind. I'll send you the clip though if I can find it.
Yeah.
So that's when Frenchie was looking for Sarah Beth, and I'm wondering if that's when the conversation though happened when he told her about the slaughterhouse. So Hannah is saying to Whitney that like, you know, he's kind of losing it. He's walking around the house. Like he's creating a very anxious energy around the house. I wouldn't want to be in there with him. And that's, I think, why it's easy to get him out right now is because it's unsettling. You don't want to be like around a loose cannon. You don't know if they're how they're going to retaliate, what they're going to do, what they're going to say. Are they going to blow up your game? Are they going to blow up? Are they going to it's too unsettling.
It feels very Willie Hands. Like it feels like Baby 14. Like the first week Willie had power, went on a power trip, and then he lost power and he lost his mind. Like he just like was like everything was like breakdown and he lost focus.
But the guy
I feel like yeah.
I mean,
like, I have a feeling
kind of reminded me of that season with Willie Hands. He definitely has a similar vibe.
Yeah.
With just like not knowing
what do anything violent. I don't think he would do anything violent, but I do feel like he seems to be somebody that is like decision and then like can change the decision, but like he makes his decisions like that and like he doesn't think about anything. He's just like all over the place.
Are they from the same part of the States? I'm curious if it might be like a statewide personality, you know? I wonder.
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying, you know, like people are similar. They're from similar parts. You know, they have similar upbringings. Maybe. I don't know. So Whitney goes and finds Frenchie. And she's trying to like be reasonable. And she's like, hey, like he's pointed that out. And I was sitting with other people that weren't part of it. And they didn't show this, but he thought that Hannah was Alyssa, which is a little bit problematic. But this is what he says to her. And there's snakes in the grass and it's time for the lawnmower. Like, he's just like lines. He just wants lines on a t-shirt. He wants to start a t-shirt line with all of his sayings on it. Which maybe I'm going to take that idea from him and do all the Frenchie
that line might actually stick.
Wait, not all that glitters is not gold, man. I mean, we know that one already, but he does say it.
Yeah.
He said another one tonight. Let's see if I can find it. So, I mean, I understand where Winnie was coming from. Like, he is blowing up her game. Like, he becomes a liability, and that's just not fun to have in the house with you at all.
No.
So Frenchie seems to want Brent to throw the wild card competition to him, and like that was just so bizarre. I'm just like, Frenchie, just no, just do the wild card competition yourself. It is just don't ask anybody to throw it.
What gameplay is that for Brent? Like, I mean, basically you're saying, Brent, throw your team under the bus. And put yourself like the focus that you're with me. And it's like, he's got 3 other people to worry about. Like,
but we did talk about a little bit about the wildcard competition. One thing I did like was that they got to watch them on the screen. I thought that was fun. That the house could participate a little bit in the wild card competition. It must have been really fun and interesting to watch and see what they were doing in the other room. So I thought that was a great addition. Obviously, they're splashing paint on them when they got the question correct, which you'd think that it would be wrong. Like you'd want to say dry because, being able to see, but you have paint on your goggles and you can't see everything correctly. Like it shouldn't be necessarily a disadvantage because you're doing well.
The reward is you get sprayed by paint.
Right? It's like, so because you're doing well, it has to be more difficult for you. So I think it should have been the opposite. You're trying to say pristine. And as opposed to if you have all this messy paint all over you, is because you weren't good and you were failing. So that's my thought. But I actually really like the competition. I thought it was fun. It's spot differences type things. They're always kind of fun. Equalizer, and it allows a person like Sarah Beth, who's a forensic scientist. She said that she practiced stuff like this all the time, and so it fell into her strengths. I like these things that can fall into a strength of anybody unsuspectingly. Because Frenchie and Brent thought they had it in the bag. Oh, whatever it is, we'll win it for sure. And no.
Yeah, because it's always going to be a physical challenge in some people's heads. It's
exactly.
Not always not a Big Brother.
Or some sport type thing, hitting a ball into something. So the reward for winning the wildcard competition is that they were going to have the opportunity to win safety. And in order to do that, they would have to swap out with the safe team, which is the Queens, Tiffany and Claire. And that person would join their team and would no longer have safety. And they would be a permanent member of the Queens team. I thought before, when we just heard about it on Thursday, that they would just be able to join whatever team was safe. And I thought that would have been interesting. But no, the swap thing, there was no reason for Sarah Beth to use the wild card. No. She's safe with Kyland. Wouldn't want to make an enemy out of Tiffany and Claire because she's working with both of them in the, which one is it? Sirens, I think. Or Jack.
Yeah, she wasn't in any danger this week.
Pardon?
She's not in any danger this week, so why bother? You're only going to make enemies out of 3 people. So, yeah. Now, Brent, if Brent was really thinking he might go up on the block, maybe. I don't think it would be the wisest choice because, again, you'd be doing that. I think that they were hoping maybe Frenchie would win because I think Frenchie, the way he's so all over the place, his first instinct would be, I need to save myself, and he would jump.
Who do you think he would take down, Tiffany or Claire?
He'd probably move Claire.
Yeah, I agree. Because Claire and Sarah Beth are on Brent's and Whitney's radar. So, yeah, I think that's what they'd do. And then people would probably try to be like, hey, put up Sarah Beth and Claire. Put up Sarah Beth and Claire. And no.
And then we would, if that had happened, the diary room with Tiffany, the next one would have been fantastic. Because she would not have been having it.
She'd have to be on a team with Frenchie, and she wants him gone. Oh,
she wants him gone.
That would have been. I mean, it would have been interesting, but it didn't happen. Thank goodness. And, Claire loves Tiffany and Kyland. She doesn't want to be going anywhere. But Sarah Beth had won this wild card, and she chose to not use it, which was the right play. I wouldn't have used it either if I were Sarah Beth. So, yeah, Tiffany wants to put the plan into action to Operation Get Frenchie out of this game. And so Tiffany and Frenchie are talking. And what's another line here? Oh, wait, it wasn't Tiffany and Frenchie. It must have been Kyland. Working with a snake, you're just waiting to get your head bit off. I'm like, okay.
Yes. Ooh. Usually it's hand bit, but the whole head gets taken off.
Is it hand, though? Okay, we're going to take your hand gets bit off?
I think that's the original quote. I think it's if you play with if you play with a snake, you're going to get bit. I think that's the original quote. So I guess it could be anything.
Okay, but I think that I'm going to make that a T-shirt too. I'm going to start taking things. these Big Brother quotes. Be like Tiffany, Big Brother 23. So when Kylan was having one-on-ones, they made a montage of it, but every single person was saying that they wanted Frenchie to go in some sort of capacity. Frenchie. And so it really was a no-brainer for Kylan, and he has a perfect reason. Hey, you put me up on the block. You said that I wasn't going to be going up on the block. I did. I ended up on the block. He doesn't know this, but Frenchie was at one point wanting the veto to be used on Alyssa so that they could send Kylan home because they were just giving Kylan $750,000. Like, we got to get him out. It's like, so he was even going to be lying in
the place.
Right? He's such a mess. And then we see the scene with Brittany. So we alluded to it at the beginning. And Brittany's basically like kind of acting like she was the head of household, in my opinion. I was like, well, you should be like a little bit more like, okay, what do you want to know? How can we work together? Like, you tell me anything you want from me. How can we work on things? And she's basically interrogating him, being like, let me ask you a question. It's like, well, I may or may not answer. Like,
what pairs have you noticed? Like
what tools have you noticed? Like, she's a mobster. And I'm like, girl, like, slow your roll. That's not, in my opinion, how you want to address somebody that you're trying to save face with and maybe work with and make some sort of alliance or deal or agreement with. You don't really come at them in that manner, in my experience.
No, and I got the vibe that she is like 5 steps behind everybody else when it comes to Kylan. Like, they're not in each other's plans. So,
exactly.
Tough luck, Brittany.
Exactly.
Tough luck, he's got the power.
Well, and like, so, spoiler alert, she ends up getting nominated. So it's going to be Frenchie and Brittany nominated. And, you know, Frenchie, obviously, because he's nominated him before and it was a house consensus. And Brittany, you know, he wants her to give her an opportunity to be able to take herself down or whatever. But she's in her confessionals, like, so angry. Like, she's crying, but she's angry. And she's like, you know, I want to win this. And like she was just so mad at Kylan. And I think she should be mad at herself because so many other people made better bonds and connections than you did in order for him to put her on the block. Whatever they said, he felt most comfortable losing you potentially. What did you do? Instead of like just being so mad at him, because he's a nice guy. He's not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or do anything sneaky or mean. Like, he was just like, hey, I know you the least. You haven't offered me any sort of safety. You aren't working with anybody that's going to provide me safety. Like, right now, if you were not on the block and you played for veto, you might take Frenchie off because of your loyalty. So I can't have that. And that's a fair thing. And she's like, oh, like, you're using the fact that I'm loyal against me. It's like, well, don't show that you're loyal then if you want people to use it against you. Like,
you know, you put up people that are pairs. Like, that's part of the game. People are loyal to each other.
You're saying like people join at the hip. It's like, well, would you include yourself and Frenchie to be joined at the hip? Like, maybe that's the duo that he's insinuating. Anyways, I feel bad that she was crying. You know, it doesn't feel great to be nominated.
Yeah, I think she did not have, like, she didn't know that she was in so much danger. I got that vibe. Like, I think it came as a big surprise to her that she was the other person that was going up. But she does need to assess the situation too. Like, if she doesn't know that Frenchie is in this much danger and he's going home right now, like, you know, play it out. Don't react that badly. You're not in that much trouble right now. I mean, you're on the block, but you know, I think she overreacted.
He did, because Brittany knows she's playing Big Brother. I think that she didn't realize how much everybody else was playing, because they all did a better job than she did of staying off the block. Even people that are joined at the hip that he should be noticing, they did a better job of making him feel safe the coming weeks, and he doesn't feel safe. So.
Yeah.
Brittany for the game is going. That's true. It's better that she goes on the block and have that experience. But it could also make her a block star, which is not great. So I don't know who.
Yeah, but she could be a good block star in some ways if she can also find ways to get power in some other ways in the house. But I don't know. I think she reacted way too crazy, like too extreme, too fast, because it shows she does not know what's going on in the house. Like if she really thought that she was in that much danger, she's not getting the whole tea of what's going on. Because I mean, I would be shocked if everybody doesn't know right now that that Frenchie is like enemy number one.
Right. Hi, Ben. Which one of you wants to trade my Frenchie for your enemy? Do you want Christy? Do you want Christy or Travis, Jonathan? Christy or Travis? Wait, was your number one
Travis
pick?
back.
Was he your number one pick, Jonathan? I don't think he was your number one, but like hilarious. No. I was almost like she felt that she was too good to be put on the block. Yeah, I think that she thought she was playing a lot better than she actually was. And like she was more confident in what she had going on, but nothing going on with the actual head of household. He was your last pick. Okay. You said you wanted him though. Surprise he didn't. Well, he did surprise us in a very, very, very bad way.
That's right.
Well, this has been a lot of fun. This season has been a lot of fun to talk about. I remember last season we were trying to do the All-Star season, and I was just like, one point I was just like, I don't want to cover this anymore. It's not really that fun and enjoyable. But this season, it's so fun, so enjoyable. Even the mess of Frenchie, it's still like I'm so enthralled in this season.
It's great. Yeah, I mean, it's great to watch.
So good. So much for joining with me here today, Phil. What do you have going on, though? I think you have a tagged game coming up that maybe some people would want to participate in.
Yeah, definitely. So as people who may not know, and those that do, I have a business called Good Time Games with Adam and Phil. You can find us on Facebook. Right now, actually, we have a July special. If you book a games that night with your friends with us, you can get $25 off. Oh, 30. Maybe I'll just do 30. We'll see. Just say you watch the podcast. We'll do 30. And then also next Saturday, we have a game called Tagged. It's a one-night elimination, like Big Brother, sort of. It's a game where you vote people out. And this month's theme that we're doing is a summer camp theme. So lots of fun there, lots of fun little games. And the last one left wins cash. Nice and fun. So check us out. Good Time Games with Adam and Phil.
You're being called out, Jonathan. You're being called out. You're keeping Frenchie. You're keeping Frenchie. No, thank you, BB. You are such a great supporter. Thank you, Jonathan, for hanging out with us for the last little bit. Natalie, Thomas, Laundry, and anybody that watches after, please comment. What do you think? Do you think Frenchie could do anything to get off the block? Do you think that the veto winner will take Frenchie off the block? Is there a chance that Frenchie will stay in this game? Please put your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video. If you haven't done so, it's a shame, but please subscribe or right down below over there somewhere.
Travesty.
Just, we're trying to build a family of people that love reality TV just as much as we do. Hang out with us in the chats. We love it. We love commenting on everything. So join the family, join the fun. And we will be seeing you for our next Big Brother update with Jonathan so we can discuss his pick of Frenchie.
Yeah, really ask him about that one.
And we'll have I made a point system, so I'll do an update of the points, and then I'll start at the end of every recap. We'll look at where people are points wise, and so I'm almost finished.
All right.
and we will be updating that on a weekly basis. So it'll be fun. So thanks, guys. Love everybody.